Live from Arts Deli in Studio City, it's the Nighttime Show. Tonight, our very special guest from Sin City, artistic director of the Ammunition Theater, Dear White People, Better Off Ted, Timeless, and War on Everyone, Malcolm Barrett. Our head writer, Matt Walker, and our host, ladies and gentlemen, the man who needs nothing more than your love, Stephen Kramer Glickman.
It's me.
Great job, buddy.
Always impressive.
Always impressive.
See, Malcolm,
Always
you should have hired him to be the
impressive.
announcer on your show.
We are here at on location as part of our Best of LA series, going to fun and cool
Fun places.
Just fun places. Today we're at my favorite deli.
Places we'd like to be kicked out of.
Yes,
Places we go to
Never
disrupt
has to
people's
go
peaceful
again.
lunches.
we are. We're constantly. Hey, there we go. Hey.
Are we live?
I'm live Instagramming this.
That's
Holy
do
shit.
it. I love
This
it.
is amazing. For those of you who don't know, my name is Malcolm Barrett, and we're at a deli. And Mike Black has given the best intro to a television show ever, or a podcast, at a deli. Surprised every very nice Jewish person here by introducing my credits of Dear White People. Amazing. I love
Many
this
of them will be
podcast
going
already.
to a new deli from
From now on. Or this will become their favorite deli.
I didn't know this was going to happen.
Oh, this is good.
It's so much fun. We have a lot of fun doing this. And Mike, Mike's the best announcer in the business. He really
best.
is.
This is Mike Black. For
There
my
he
followers,
is.
I'm
I'm the
Instagramming
best.
this live right
There
now.
he is.
Hi,
For those
everyone.
for those who don't know,
Look at
and
all the hearts you're getting.
I'm getting tons of hearts.
getting a lot of hearts.
What people don't know is that me and Mike Black actually go back. We did a
We do.
commercial for some sort of phone device,
Yeah.
but then after that, we were together on Nerd Court. So this is for the Nerd Court fans out there.
Oh, yeah.
He became our Doctor Who expert. Do you guys remember that?
That was fun.
yeah. There he
And I
is.
won't tell you what the phone device was, but the guy we did the commercial with has recently switched sides
Yeah.
to,
Oh.
to the other cam.
Yeah,
God.
you know what I mean?
Does he have glasses?
These phones ain't loyal.
Yeah.
No.
These phones ain't loyal. Phones ain't loyal. I'm sorry.
Well, we're very excited to have you, Malcolm. The last time I saw you was at San Diego Comic-Con at
Yes.
the Nerd
Yes.
HQ party, and I don't know what happened, but there were things happening. It was a lot of stuff happening that night.
I love Comic-Con. I love Nerd HQ. That was a lot of fun. I think Steve Zaragoza was there. I think
Josh
I met
Whedon was
Josh
there.
Whedon was there. I think maybe Little Batman was there. Little Gotham, young Gotham, whatever that little boy name is.
Sure. Oh, that kid.
Yeah,
Yes.
young Gotham. He was there. These are just hellos.
Little
Shout out.
Hi, Ava Ernest. So it was. I love Comic-Con. I actually went there before I was there as a guest, and was there just as a fan. My homegirl had gotten me tickets there, and I was like, I waited in all the lines, and so I did a movie with Kerry Washington at the time, and she was in Django, so I texted her. I was like, what room you in? I need to go see Django.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh my
yeah.
God,
She's like,
that's
She was like, we're in
amazing.
this. Yeah. I'm name dropping. Pick them back up. They're in my pocket now.
So you went from 1 year attending to the next year
to about
presenting.
2 years later, being on a panel with
Wow.
Timeless.
And
you
I
guys
could
were
not
everywhere.
get into that panel. It was
It's
that
good. Well,
packed.
well, then my note got through.
Yeah.
Man, you guys were everywhere down there. There's an entire building that was just covered in Timeless and all the buses
Buses with
and
your
everything.
face driving by.
That was probably the most insane experience of my life, was literally seeing buses and walls with my faces on it. You know,
my
NBC
God.
went crazy. There was a Gravitron ride. You know, one of my early Instagrams that I have on there is it's plastered all over the place. There's a Gravitron ride with all of that. No one knows who I am, and they haven't connected my physical being to the pictures on the walls. So I'm like literally talking to fans and hi, Izzy Rose. I'm literally talking to fans and going like, "Hey, you guys going on a Gravitron?" And like just some people going like, "Yeah, I guess so. Whatever."
Wow.
Like, having no idea who I was, and just
It's
like,
free. I'll get on it.
yeah. They're like, whatever. I have time to kill between like Django and like Iron Man 3. So like,
I came over to check out
my
the Batmobile,
God.
but I guess
yeah, this is okay.
That's
You know,
fascinating.
I wanted my
dude.
copy of the Watchmen signed, but
Right.
this is all right.
Dude, I think Timeless is a terrific show, man. That's a big show.
I think so too.
Yeah?
It's a huge. Well, it's the biggest show I've ever done in terms of budget, in terms of sci-fi, in terms of rollout. You know what I mean?
Can you tell us what's the budget on the show per episode?
It's
Any idea?
$9.3 billion.
$9.3
good
billion.
amount.
Yeah, it's a rough estimate.
Wow.
That gives you a bit
And
of
I'm
a
not great
cushion.
with numbers, but I think it's roughly around
what they've told you.
$9.3 billion.
So it's a
I don't
cheap
know.
show.
Yeah,
Sure.
well, it's
Make it for
made.
nothing.
It's an indie. It's
Yeah.
an indie. It's an indie television
Art
show.
house sort of show.
Yeah, but it's crazy. I mean, what's funny is that most of the sci-fi isn't even it's in the concept more than it is the visuals. For the most part, the visuals rely on getting old-time clothing and being in the spaces and converting those spaces into things that look like 1930s Chicago or 1864 the South and things like that or Paris. So that's a lot of where it goes into, more so than like just seeing laser beams shoot across the screen.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you guys are very screen accurate. NBC is doing a killer job making that.
And keep in mind, we shoot within like the course of 9 days, so we never go back to the same place. So we never use the same stage.
Oh my
we never
God.
return to the same environments ever. So even if we use the same set, we have to redress that entire set completely to look like a different century.
Holy
You know.
crap.
I'm by no means a history buff at all. I'm terrible, but one of the few things that I took a day and read about was Lincoln's assassination.
Yes.
And when I saw the footage of that, all the little details.
You saw
were there.
footage of the Lincoln assassination?
No, the footage of Timeless.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, that's really
I would
good.
not have sat
could
on it
sell
for this
that on
long
eBay for a lot of
if I
money.
had found footage of the Lincoln assassination. But just little things like the Booth limping when he left, and everything he said was accurate.
Yeah.
It was really. I
Yeah,
was
the
so
quotes from there.
impressed,
Yeah,
you know.
we use a lot of real quotes from this. Even in our most recent episode about Josephine Baker and the Lost Generation, that was a real quote where she described what it meant to be the Lost Generation with Ernest Hemingway and her and Gertrude Stein and all these things. And we use real quotes from these people.
Yeah.
When we had H.H. Hearns, what is his name? The killer, one of the first serial killers that we had.
HR Puffin stuff.
HR Puffin stuff.
Right. Notorious.
TRR token. Yeah, but the thing that he describes himself about having the devil inside of him was a real life quote.
Wow.
And so the show makes a very good job of using real life quotes and using real life situations and using just enough artistic license to give us some headway into the conceit of the show.
Have you heard that it's a
Holmes.
brilliant tweet
H.H. Holmes.
that kind of relates to your show where, the thing they say to most people when they're asked, if you had a time machine, what would you do? I'd go back and kill Hitler.
Yes.
Someone wrote this incredible response to that saying, while I admire your goal, keep in mind, if you fail, Hitler has a time machine now. And that's kind of what your show is.
It's true.
based
It's true.
around.
If you
Similar-
fail, Hitler has a time machine. I mean, it's that thing of like, it's the usual
so
suspects.
funny.
Like, how do you shoot the devil? What if you miss?
Yeah,
Do you know what I
exactly,
mean?
yeah.
And so, like, that's kind of the conceit of the show a lot of times.
Yeah,
It's just like,
it's really
it would be
brilliant.
great to change this, but what are the ramifications? And
Yeah.
I always give the rest of my cast shit all the time. Like, I was doing an interview with Goran, and he was like, I would never change that because he's Croatian, and this accent is completely accurate. He'll be like, like, I would never want to do that, because then, what if something greater happens and, everything is wrong and that's no good, And I would always sit next to him and be like, well, unlike Goran, I hated slavery, so I would change that if I could.
I'd change that.
But, whatever, time paradox.
Do you have a favorite time period that you've gotten to go to?
So far, I like the Roaring Twenties a lot. I liked going to the 80s, you know what I mean? Possibly because
you
it
guys
was
did
in
some
my
Miami
lifetime.
Vice
And like,
stuff?
yeah, we did sort of a Miami Vice, a Crockett and Tubbs. There's one where it was more almost a Versace suede, like Kangol hat look that I would have loved, but I love the way that they went because it was sort of the team coming together and being like this thing. And like, so to throw back to Miami Vice on the first episode where me and him are paired up together, me and Matt Lancer, it was great. And it was probably our funniest, most tragic episode.
Yeah.
Funny because of we showed Manimal and A-Team, and you have these huge colors and rolled up blazer sleeves.
I was a big Manimal fan when I was a kid.
Yeah, so you had that, but at the same time we had like a lot of death. death, and like
Yeah.
him trying to get his wife back after from the murderer and make sure
Right.
he's not born yet. So you had a little bit of both of that,
It's
yeah.
a heavy show. It's a lot of fun to watch though. Like each episode, you're just like, oh, I'm at episode 7 right now,
Okay.
and each time I'm like doing other things, I'm like, I could be at home right now and just seeing what happens.
You could.
I just love how other networks, though, right now are they're like, we also have a time.
There's a lot of
travel
time-
show.
there's a lot
There's
of time
after
shows.
Do you think
time,
that's-
which
There is.
Do you think that's because of the popularity of Doctor Who that this is sort of becoming a
Well,
thing a lot of
no,
people are
only because
doing, or-
Dr. Hugh's been on for like 50 years,
Yeah.
off and on. You know what I mean? I think it's just, sometimes it winds up being in the zeitgeist. It winds up being in the thing. Like, it was really weird when it was like, there was two, what is it, the role that Philip Seymour Hoffman, he played the writer in Cold Blood.
Yeah,
I
know who
yeah,
you
yeah,
mean.
Capone.
Yeah,
Two
Capote.
There was
Capote.
Capote
But
and-
way to segue, because our next episode is on Al Capone tonight at 10 p.m. So
Wow.
good job.
Awesome.
Anytime.
Segueing St. Valentine's Day Day Massacre.
Oh, wow.
For the
Perfect.
fans at home who are on my Instagram, if you say a weird word, I'll try and work it into the conversation, and we'll see if the listeners can figure out if I'm just odd or if I'm playing a game with my Instagram followers.
I
Why
love
not
it.
both?
Anyway, renew timeless hashtag.
Is it where?
Is that me or is that
no,
the followers?
Is that something already happening? Are they already?
I don't
talking
know.
about it?
I don't. Well, we can't. We have no idea. We have a good following. The ratings are down sometimes, but overall TV ratings are down. But we're like first all the time, or second, or something like that.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
Do you find yourself checking like the Twitter feed of the cancellation bear?
I do. But you know what? I check that no matter what. Like
Yeah.
I'm that guy that checks IMDb to see if I'm working tomorrow. I'm like, oh, did I get a job? All right, cool.
Now
That's
people
good.
watch it like. I know that the entire season is on demand right now.
Yeah.
Does that help?
I mean, all of it helps. I mean, live works better, but we also have it's weird because we also have 17 to 20 million after DVRs. But networks, they love live because then they can show their commercials, which is how they
Right.
make their
Sure, of course.
that's how they cut
Makes
their
sense.
pig up to make the bacon. You know what I mean?
So download it as soon as you can.
Download it immediately. Watch it off your DVR as soon as you can. Otherwise,
Any
this
way you can
podcast
watch
is
it.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
Right. There's no point in us
This
being-
episode will
This
have
episode
no
with Malcolm
rewatch
who?
value.
Malcolm
Yeah,
who?
We could have just sat here and
I'm
eaten
that guy.
pastrami.
Yeah, I could have just given you a taste test of pastrami sandwiches
Well, how many
at Art's
episodes do you guys have
Delicatessen.
left?
We have tonight's episode, which is whenever you watch this podcast, which is the 13th,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
our penultimate episode before our season finale. And I will tell you that Rufus goes through a bunch of stuff throughout the next couple episodes. But
Now, was penultimate a word suggested by your Instagram followers?
no, that's what I use. I'm really good at words.
Your character's name is Rufus Carlin.
Yes.
Can you talk about where that came from?
This is where it came from. I was actually had an early rehearsal with the writers one time, and I was talking about the character of Rufus. And there's some racial connotations to Rufus, only in that a black man hasn't been named Rufus since the antebellum South. And so, I was saying that I would always have name issues sometimes, and I was like, look, I went in there and I was like, I don't love the character being named Rufus. I'm too young to be named Rufus. I was like, the only other Rufus I know are Wainwright and a British white guy actor, Rufus
Yeah.
Sewell. I was like, it's not a very common name. I was like, the only way I will accept it is if I think it's a callback to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, where George Carlin played Rufus, who was their time traveling companion throughout the
So
things.
cool.
And so, Kripke looked at me and he was like, so listen, we've done the show, we've shown the show to a bunch of network executives. No one's pointed out the fact that the character's named after Rufus from Bill and Ted. He was like, if you look at the names of Wyatt, it's Wyatt Logan and it's Lucy Preston, Ted Theodore Logan,
that's
and Bill S.
hysterical.
Preston
That I
from
hadn't picked up
Bill
on.
and Ted's Excellent
I had
Adventure.
not picked up on
Yeah,
either of those.
that's
yet.
why I
Yeah.
got my nerd credibility, and I think was able to talk to them for a little while afterwards. Yeah, because then he was like, "Yeah." So
That's
you
great.
hear it here from out of my mouth. That is where that name came from.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
I love it. I love it.
So we do little callbacks. I mean, we do little callbacks to Bill and Ted. We do callbacks to Back to the Future and all sorts of things.
Hey, man, this is a lot of fun. Are you having a good time there, Matt
I'm
Walker?
having a great time.
Man, oh man, do I love recording episodes of the Nighttime Show podcast. But you know what I love doing even more than that?
What do you love more than that?
Popping open a bottle of Fireball whiskey, which I happen to have with me right here.
That
And
is
you
a
know
bottle
what?
of Fireball.
It is. It's a big bottle. It says Fireball whiskey, and it is yummy, yums, cinnamon flavor. I'm actually, I don't know if you can hear it, but if I hold up the bottle, you can hear the bottle talk. Hang
You
on.
can't
I'm gonna
hear a
hold-
bottle
I'm gonna hold-
talk.
Wait, shh. Just listen real quiet.
Oh, what's happening, everybody? How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, there's my bottle of Fireball
Hey.
whiskey.
That bottle's talking. That's
That's a
fucking crazy.
real bottle that can talk.
That's amazing.
What's happening, Matt? You said you were having a good time, right?
I am having a good time.
You want to have a great time?
Yeah, you want to have a great time? You gotta pop that. We're gonna pop this bottle up, and I'm gonna put you in my mouth.
Yeah.
You ready for that?
Oh, I've been ready my whole bottle life.
Oh, I want you so deep down my throat. Here we go. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it all.
Give it to
Here
me,
we go.
baby.
I'm opening it.
Oh, can you smell that?
Whoa, you swallowed that whole bottle of Fireball. That's amazing.
Well, it was a nice. It's a lot of Fireball, and it's down in my belly. Are you down there?
Steven, this is a blast, man. Thanks for swallowing me.
Hey, how's it going in my stomach? How is it down there?
Oh, it's really great. Hey, did you go to In-N-Out?
I did.
Oh, man, lucky me.
Yeah, you bet. Enjoy some of that, buddy. Those are for for y'all.
This is great, man. Let's get
For y'all.
loose.
Let's get loose. Let's have a good time. I'm gonna shake my belly around.
Wait, whoa, whoa.
Hey, you see a TV guide in there?
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, actually, I do. One of
You
the it's
swallowed
dog
a
hair.
TV guide?
There's a TV and a TV in there. Turn around. You can see it on the wall.
Cool.
It's Sanyos, I believe. Sanyos Fireball. What do you see on the TV?
Oh my gosh, lucky me. What?
Is this a,
Get out.
Is it?
Are you-
Is it an old episode of Quantum Leap?
Yeah, whoa. Is he ever going to get back?
I don't know. I don't know, but enjoy that, buddy. And thanks for being in my stomach. Fireball whiskey. It's a party in your stomach and a party in your heart. Fireball whiskey.
Bye.
All right, let's get back to the show.
What are the other cast members like that you're working with? Like, had you known either of them before?
The running joke is how we did not know each other at all. Excuse me, I got a cough. Watch this. Very professional.
Gross.
Yeah, it's gross. But that's real. That's real time. Hi from the UK. So Matt's a real jerk vest. But other than that, no. What if that was a thing?
That sounds like the worst terrorist ever.
Yeah.
This is a jerk vest.
It's just people not being nice to each other for like an extended
That's
period
actually,
of time.
if you're in Jamaica,
Israel.
though, a jerk fest is a good thing.
I love it. Oh yeah.
Get some jerk chicken.
Yeah.
Good times.
It's a jerk chicken.
This area's too spicy.
Yeah.
Someone
If you
used a
live in
jerk
the-
vest.
If you're in the San Fernando Valley, a jerk fest is a whole different thing.
Very different thing. It's at massage parlors. It's a whole thing.
It's an extra $40.
I'm pretty
of the
sure I
Valley.
bought that on DVD.
No, that's fine. I got jerk vest too. And three.
Clean and jerk vest is what you have to watch out for. You get a hernia.
Speaking of Matt Lanter, he's a welcome to work with every day. He's very funny.
He's gonna just headbutt me in a bar.
Oh,
one
he
day
is.
after
He's full
hearing
of
this.
shenanigans. He's full of shenanigans. We have a lot of fun. Like him and Abigail, we just sing silly songs to each other, and that's about it. It's really weird. I think it's whenever you're on a tent show with high drama, it makes you really silly.
Yeah,
like one of
sure.
the first times when we had to stare outside at the. When we were in the Hindenburg and we had to stare outside, there's about three of us, including Chantel, me, and Abby. And we're looking outside, and what we're actually looking at is a bunch of orange cones because
Yeah.
it's like CGI stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, and it would be
Pretend.
pulling out, it's going to be pulling out for what is going to last for about 20 seconds, the shot is. So we can't help but laugh after about 4 seconds because we're just staring at cones.
Yeah.
And so we're like staring and we're just like bawling out laughing. They're like, "Can you hold until we yell cut?" We're like, "No, we're trying."
It's
Just
not easy.
What we're doing is ridiculous. That's all.
These cones are people burning and dying.
These people,
They
the cones
really
are dying. The cones are dying.
Oh my
You know
god.
what I mean? So it's a very weird
That's a-
experience.
harder.
I imagine like when people are in like Avatar and things like that, where everything is CGI. It's very difficult to have to do that, right?
Yeah, this is the closest I've ever had to do because this is one where we have a lot of like skies that are CGI, or we're recreating Paris or a Hindenburg exploding, and so there's a lot of practical stuff. But then there's a whole bunch of like that the Hindenburg wasn't there when we were looking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So there was that.
You didn't fly
Yeah,
one in.
they're like, it's over there. I'm like, okay.
You didn't hire the Goodyear blimp to stand in at all.
Anytime I watch the show, and I'm like,
Try to ignore the weird visual things that I'm
It's
doing for my
fine.
followers.
It's fine.
It just makes me wish that we were taping this show because you guys are missing a lot of fun stuff that
It's
Malcolm's
very
doing
fun,
with his
challenging
face.
things that I'm doing
to-
to
for
my
his
face.
Instagram fans.
But it's okay. I have a face for radio, so it works out. This podcast is good.
No, I love on the show how you can't tell what's CGI and what's not CGI, and you're just trying to sometimes you're just trying to figure it out. You're like, how much of this? Where did they shoot this? Is it all being shot on stages for the most part, or
No,
on
we're
location?
outside on location for most of it. We're very rarely in a stage. Pretty much the only thing that's ever consistently a stage is Mason Industries. That's the only place that we're always in stage.
What lot are you guys on?
I don't know. It's like an old peanut factory. I don't know. Like, Canada is not built for the amount of
you're
shows
in
that it's
Canada?
happening. We're in Canada, in Vancouver.
Are you in Vancouver?
Yes.
Do you live at the
Where do you live exactly?
Sutton place? It's
Yeah,
Sutton
what's my
place?
address?
your address?
It's 224 Manning.
But you're staying.
Please come and visit. Do not pay attention to the guard. Just burst right through there. He's not a big fan of Law and Order.
He doesn't understand how much you love
Yeah, he
Malcolm.
doesn't. Just say I love Timeless.
No, I love
Password is Rufus.
If you're staying at the Sutton place.
No, I am not.
Okay.
No,
All
we
right.
did for the
No.
pilot. I visit there. They do know my name. You will get a free Jack and Coke if you stop by. But no, we wound up getting places because I've been there almost 6 months. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. So we're living in. Speaking of speaking outside, being outside. That's why our Western episode is in the snow because it happened to snow in Vancouver deeply for the first time in 8 years. So we turned it into like a Django, like Hateful Eight sort of situation, simply because it snowed. So we're out
Yeah.
there and like
It's either that or get a lot of hair dryers.
it's a lot of
Yeah.
hair dryers. It's also put your money wherever you want. It's your budget.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You have $9 billion to work with.
Yeah, we have $9.3 billion to work with, so we can buy as many hair dryers as we want. That's not a big deal.
Let's jump to Dear White People.
Sure.
A great film.
I thought it was good.
How did that come about? How did you end up getting involved in that?
So what's funny about Dear White People is that I had worked with Stephanie Elaine, who is a producer who's been doing films for years and years. And so we did a movie called Peoples with, speaking of, Kerry Washington, Craig Robinson, David Allen Greer, a bunch of people, Kimry, Callie Hawk, Tyler James Williams, Asapatha Murkison. So I had done that movie, and it had been a lot of fun, and we did that. And then what happened was Stephanie Elaine had also wound up producing Dear White People, and I think Mike Epps was supposed to be in it. But he dropped out because I think he was like, his schedule was busy. He was doing stand-up or something. He's doing some Mike Epps shit.
Yeah.
And so she called me over like a weekend where I was like just chilling. And was just like, "Are you around on such and such date?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Hold on." And then I get like, an email from the casting director who I'd been friends with, who was just like, "Let's go. Do you want to do this?" And I was like, "Okay." And so I wound up being in this movie, which I thought was already shot. A lot of people had saw the initial thing on YouTube and thought it was actually already shot.
Wow.
Because the initial teaser for the YouTube, which was just as a concept teaser, had gotten so many hits. And it's actually sort of mirroring what's happening on Netflix right now, which is that I got a whole bunch of hits, ridiculous views, a bunch of hate stuff, a bunch of white folks saying, like, this is about, or a small group of white folks going, like, this is about white genocide. And I was going, like, or it's not about that at all.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's like, it's this facetious satire that actually critiques black folks as much as it does white folks. Yeah. Like the harshest criticism it has about white folks is, can you please not wear blackface?
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
and they were like,
have misgivings.
Jenna, you're taking away all our rights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
You don't know how much part of our culture is blackface.
it's huge. It's our people. So if you get dashikis, we get blackface.
It's only fair.
Yeah.
Not really at all.
Yeah, no. So I wound up playing this sort of reality guy called Helmet, or named Helmet, who is like just sort of one of my like great like bad guy characters. It was like really fun to play. I think I went to the Brad Pitt School of Acting for that one, and that I would just eat in every scene. But that was tons of fun. It was a great experience. It was a great time to be a part of the zeitgeist in that manner. And now it's sort of remade its way as a Netflix TV show. And I have no connection to the TV show at all. I've been doing Timeless. I'm literally just supporting it. I think it's a great movie. My Brandon Bell is in it. Justin Simien, great writer. I know a bunch of people involved.
So now there's no chance whatsoever that you'll be in it?
Not on the first season.
Oh, okay.
Not on the first season. Who knows what can happen? I've just had a crazy schedule this whole time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a bunch of people who were from the movie that might have returned, and just schedules didn't work out that way because, for the most part, everyone had a great experience and understood where it was coming from. You know what I mean? So that was a great work, and, salute to Justin.
Yeah, it's one of those, if you think it's about white Holocaust or whatever. If you have misgivings, see the film and then criticize it.
Soup's
Absolutely.
not about a white Holocaust.
Let me assure you, as someone with the Instagram handle Mike Black Attack, which is an unfortunate one, let me assure you, white people, see the film first and then decide.
Judge not based on title.
Right.
Words
Absolutely.
from Mike Black Attack.
Yes, exactly.
I had conversations with people about that movie because I saw it, and I had friends who I was like, oh, I went and saw this movie, and people were like, oh, I don't know. I feel like I'm just gonna feel like the people are gonna be mad. Is it? Mad at me?
At
Is it just is everyone on screen just mad at me the whole time? And I'm like, no, that's not it. It's a very interesting movie with a lot of dynamics to it.
And it's funny too. People forget
It's
that
very,
it has a lot of
it's very
really good
funny.
humor.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And a lot of the humor makes fun of black folks. A lot of it is like us. It's critiquing how quickly we are to identify in any particular way as a defense mechanism and as a way to identify ourselves in general. It's a facetious title. Not everyone agrees within the movie with the words "Dear White People." And also the other thing that people would always say were like, well, what if we had Dear Black People? It was like, well, what follows? Like, what do you say after Dear Black People? Like, because we go, Dear White People, please don't dress up like us. Like, I think what scares you is that you would go, Dear Black People, stop stealing my TV, and that's a little awkward. Like, that's awkward.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
It would be like 18th on the list. It's not the first thing that would go. We don't just go straight to
it'd be 17 other things. I get it.
I love it.
I get
love
it.
That's amazing. I was a huge Better Off Ted fan.
So was I.
Such a damn good show. How many seasons did you guys get?
We went 2 seasons. I think we were 13 episodes per season. It was awesome.
Unbelievably funny. You were hilarious on the show, but the show itself was a very, very funny show, and one of those I kind of feel like really should have got a longer run and should have been around longer than it was.
Oh, I wish it was. It's one of those shows that people either call like niche or they call cult or they say, is ahead of his time. It's Victor Fresco, who never has a show that simply mimics what's going on. It always calls attention and flips it on its head. Victor Fresco created Dinosaurs, and Andy Richter controls the universe, and currently he does the Santa Clarita Diet with Drew Barrymore, with the zombies and Tim Oliphant. Cheers, Street Girl. So it was an awesome thing. I played Lem Hewitt, who was a codependent scientist, along with Jonathan Slavin, who played Phil.
Slavin's so funny,
aka hashtag Phlegm. And so we were great because we were sort of meeting in the middle age-wise, and we were so codependent. Even as actors, we actually had auditioned for a lot of the same roles growing up, coming through our careers, playing like sort of quirky, individualistic insiders. And then so when we got to play codependent, quirky, individualistic insiders who were geniuses, it was the perfect fit,
Oh, yeah.
I actually didn't make my screen test because I was new to LA somewhat and had been driving, I think, through Bel Air, all about how my life got caught. And so I'd been driving through, and I'd done whatever, and so I got there late, and I missed a bunch of guys coming through, and I go upstairs, and they're like, "You're too late. We'll just use your tape." And I thought my career was over. And then cut to, I got the part.
Wow.
And then cut to the 3 guys who didn't get the role, who's like, who got it? The guy who he didn't show up.
That's cool.
Holy crap.
That's all right. So yeah,
That's amazing. I love that show. That's such a great show. Oh, do you
Anytime they've ever told me we're just going to use your tape, I'm like, oh,
No.
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, it's over.
There it goes. Yeah.
yeah.
Did you have the same? What was the experience like for auditioning for Timeless? Was it similar? Or
Timeless was interesting. Sean Ryan and Eric Kripke, who I knew from binge watching Supernatural. Sean Ryan I knew from binge watching The Shield. And so the experience was, I think maybe I auditioned. I feel like maybe I didn't. Not initially. And then I was in the room. I just showed up and said, do you want me to have it? The answer is yes. And so I love Germany. And then so what happened was I go in a room. It's Sean Ryan, Eric Kirby, and I do the part, and I know the part because I get it, and I know what I want to do. And it's a smart black kid from like a whatever neighborhood, and that's who I am. And I knew, and I was a big sci-fi fan. Quantum Leap, Doctor Who, all of that. I knew this world. And I knew what I wanted to be if I existed in the American modern version of this world.
Yeah.
And that's what Rufus is. Yeah. And so from there, I knew it was good. And even once or twice they said, riff, and I was like, okay. And they let me riff on what became the scene in the pilot, which is the, every black guy named Michael, Jordan Jackson, and all of that.
That was great.
It became a huge riff. And I'd sort of hit on that at the audition, and then, I'd been having fun with them during the pilot, and they were like, why don't you ad-lib more? And I was like, because you're the writer, and it's a drama.
Yeah.
And so that's probably the only real riffing ad-lib I have. I've added little things here and there, and I've given notes. And been like, can we do this? And they're very susceptible. They're very susceptible to my brainwashing. They're very acceptable to all of this. Happy birthday, Lydia. And so that's been part of the joy, is being able to see that character grow and seeing how much they listen and we respond and cooperate together.
yeah,
That's very cool.
That's amazing, man. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
that first episode was terrific with the Hindenburg, because it's like, it is one of those things that you would definitely change if you could,
Yeah, if you notice Matt Lanter and Abigail Spencer, they both talk about how their characters would have changed this. Actually, not Lucy, because she always wants everything to be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You do a lot of theater aside from this. So as a guy, Mike grew up doing a lot of theater, and I grew up doing a lot of theater. And
I've seen you do the at a piano bar. One of the ways I know you is my homegirl Kim Hamilton, who also works with Ammunition Theater, and which is my theater company, and we've done. I actually did a play called The Boomerang Effect with Jonathan Slavin, written by Matt Levitt. That's how I met Kim, who took me to the piano bar, which is one of the ways I've seen you perform.
Wow.
Yeah.
When was that?
A couple years ago, maybe 5. I have no idea. Idea.
I know that we, like, as a person that's like a big theater fan, and I love doing plays, but I haven't been able to figure out how to do a play in Los Angeles because like, how do you make time? How do you make time to do theater and still work in the business? Like, how does that work?
It's really easy. The key is to not have a job at all.
Right.
Or to have a job and then just come in whenever you feel like it. So I do a little bit of both, which is that, I had a theater company back in New York called Real Theater Works with a number of individuals. And then I formed another one while I was in L.A. With a bunch of New York folks. Tina Wong, who's on Rizzoli and Niles. Arjun Gupta, who's on The Magicians. Carla Mosley, who's on Young and the Restless. Carla Sousa, Yara Martinez. How to Get Away with Murder, and Yara's on the Tick, and everything else. So we have a bunch of people who've worked in all sorts of capacities, and you just do it. You just form a theater company. We've been sort of brother sisters with I Am a Theater Company with Katie Lowe's, Adam Shapiro, those guys. And so we formed a theater company, and this was to highlight sort of underrepresented voices, multi-ethnic voices, females, and we all got together and we've done sort of inaugural plays, and now we're probably on our second full-length, How to Raise a Freeman by Zaki Alexander, and on our next full-length will be The Tragedy, a comedy, by Darryl Watson, directed by one of your previous guests, Ahmed Best, who I actually met at the Ovation Awards because he's been a winner for fight choreography. I won for acting because I'm one of the best actors of our time. And Amina Kaplan, who is actually in my band or has played with our band as a drummer, who also did Stomp. And I think that's how they all know each other.
Jeez Louise, yeah.
Who also did some post on my newest video, which isn't out yet.
That's your band, Sin City.
My band, Sin City, with Brandon Scott, Chris Yule. We've had a bunch of different machinations. Merrick Woodard.
What style do you play?
We're hip-hop, soul, rock influenced. We have our first album was called the Sin City LP, which is on iTunes and SoundCloud. I had a solo album as a rapper called The Backpacker's Guide to the Galaxy because I'm a nerd and I love The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Nice.
Was that actual nerdcore you were doing, or is it?
What'd you say?
Was it actual nerdcore rap you were doing in that album?
I don't know what nerdcore is, but I did have a song called Revenge of the Nerds.
Okay. Because there's a whole genre called nerdcore rap where they rap about like Dungeons and Dragons and things like that.
I don't think that's what I did.
I don't like how that sounds, so I didn't do it.
Because I could take us to a whole nother level of nerddom right here.
I don't think that's what I was doing. I think it was just rap and then maybe some smart people involved.
Yeah.
And so that was that album. And then, so now we're working on our next album, which is called Funhouse. And a director buddy of ours, Dina Selenow, she noticed that a lot of our albums are sort of concept music. And so she was like, what if we turned that into a play? So in May, over at, hold on, I'm going to look it up so that I don't get it wrong. May, we're going to do a play. Think like Hedwig or Lin-Manuel stuff or Fela or Passing Strange.
Wow.
That sort of like, Highways performance space in Santa Monica. It's going to be that sort of a thing.
Oh, my God.
That? In
May. That's in May. March 3rd is How to Raise a Freeman, written by Zaki Alexander, directed by Fred Thomas, produced by Ammo Theater Company, and that'll be.
Are
at
you
New
in that
Collective.
one?
I'm not in that one. I'm going to be. The company's producing it. I'll be there. I'll show up.
Yeah. Have you ever had to drop out of a play because you had to go and work on a show or a movie?
Our last play, which was. You're welcome, Jessica Dickens. That's not the name of the play. It's just me talking to Instagram.
Oh, I love You're Welcome, Jessica Dickens.
It's like Happy
That's
Birthday,
totally
Julian.
line.
It's Mammoth. Our last play was Judgment of Fools, written by Bernardo Cubria, which was sort of looking at society, sort of satirizing society through clowning and sort of commedia dell'arte.
Wow.
And
my
so
God.
Bernardo Cubria, an accomplished Mexican playwright, is now a part of our company and is an artistic director.
my God.
Yeah, we actually just had a meeting yesterday and went over some sort of clowning activities and that sort of thing. So it was pretty awesome.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool. What are some roles or things that you would like to do that you haven't gotten a chance to do? Is there certain, whether it's plays or is there roles in particular that kind of play through your brain that you're like, God, I would love to try this?
Yeah, I want to play more psychos. I'm playing. What's interesting, probably in my theatrical life, I let loose a little bit more. I think within television, I've been playing very sort of held in individuals. People who are keeping things below the surface, and anyone who knows me personally knows I'm a little closer to the surface.
Sure.
And so I think I want to let that part out a little bit more artistically, and it's been great in terms of like even the arc of my character on Timeless has hit a lot more things than I ever would have expected over a career in terms of shooting a man, being scared, being in love, being in this particular century, fighting racism, fighting espionage, being a double agent. It's covered so many bases that would be the answer to this question normally.
Yeah, right.
That I'm sort of finding it hard to figure out what the next career goal is, because this is hard to top. But I've been writing some things and I've been creating with friends and creating this theater. And I think whatever roles those wind up being are going to be what I wind up working on.
Yeah, I love it too. When we had Keith David on, Keith does a lot of
Keith
theater.
David, I did a show called The Big House with Kevin Hart, which was a reverse version of The Fresh Prince. And he was the dad. Bam! I was worried. I was listening to you, Bruce Valanche, and I was like, I'm not going to have any stories. I don't have nearly the career or the memory that any of these people have. But bam, I got connections.
I know, absolutely.
So can you tell us about the Star Wars Holiday Special?
The Star Wars Holiday Special. I got nothing.
Oh, no, all that stuff.
No one has anything on the Star
I don't know
Wars
if you know
holidays.
Paul.
Just Bruce.
Yeah, no, I mean, we always have, some fun. We've had a lot of fun people on the show, but,
So what do you like watching on TV?
I watch everything. I haven't been able to watch as much because I've been working like 24 hours a day, but Stranger Things and Black Mirror and
Black Mirror, you mean what's happening to our country right now?
aka America
Episode
2017.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right?
What else? I'm watching all the popular Netflix shows. I'm watching that. I'm watching, I don't know what's on television. Timeless. That show's hot.
Yeah. Hot show.
What is your favorite show that you're not a part of? That you're like, oh, if I wasn't doing this, I would be doing that if I could.
Damn, I'm trying to think. Oh, I love Orphan Black. Orphan Black is a fun little show.
I've never seen. I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah,
but I've
I
never
loved
seen
Falling Skies, which was like crazy. Like it was a
cool.
cool
That's a cool
sci-fi show.
Yeah.
I like fun, smart sci-fi like that.
You watched
So a lot of BBC
Legion?
America.
You watched the first episode of
No,
Legion?
but I
shit.
know Bill Irwin who's on it, and I'm a huge fan of Bill Irwin. Bill Irwin, I'm going to tell me some Bruce Valanche-esque stories.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Irwin, who is friends with Sakina Joffrey, who's on our show, along with Patterson, who plays Mason, who also did one-man shows. We all were like forming this collective. We never had the time, but we were forming this show called 420, which was the four of us doing 20-minute monologues, which we were going to do. Bill Irwin I'd been a huge fan of since Pennies in Heaven, since Popeye, since I think he did Scapan. And so I knew him as a New York clown, classic clown, created all these shows. And so I actually wound up, we were in the same casting agency, and I said to him, hey, I'm a big fan. I don't know how many like young black kids from Brooklyn you have as fans, but like I love you. Like Bill Irwin is this like, I think it's 60-something-year-old clown. He did Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf with Meryl Streep, won a Tony. And so I'm a huge fan of his. And then I wound up playing his assistant at a play on the day of his birthday, and it was just like so crazy, this art piece. And so I've been a huge fan of his ever since, and hopefully we'll still do something together again. But like he's on Legion, and he plays sort of this two-fold character. It's two people in one that changes into the other, and all this crazy sort of stuff. My life is very sci-fi and clowning.
Oh, yeah.
right now.
Are you?
If there's a clown in space, it is me, sir.
Killer clowns from outer space.
Wait,
That
when,
means-
you, when you say that you're kind of like a nerdy guy, what did you grow up on? What got you into like what do you nerd out about?
Well, so I was a math and science kid, right? I was taking sequential maths above my grade. I went to Science Skills Center. I went to Stuyvesant, which was the number one math and science high school in the country. So I was into that, but then I was also into all these cool little sci-fi shows, like your Quantum Leap, and later on Doctor Who, and all these Star Trek and Star Wars. Not as much, to be honest. I like Star Wars, but like I have friends who are like this and that and blah blah blah, I know all these things, and I'm like, I watched it. Like, I don't know all this shit, but like,
Sure.
I get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I probably know more about Star Trek and those sorts of things. But I was just a fan of all of that sort of stuff, and I loved fantasy. You know what I mean? I loved, I was into, transcendental meditation and looking at other dimensions and things like that when I was like a very kid. Like, my science project was on, disassociation and hypnosis and things like that. So I was always interested in the other world. I did magic for a little bit, or not really. No, I was interested in magic. I did magic as much as I did ventriloquism, in that I bought a Laurel and Hardy doll that apparently did not work immediately.
Right.
So I was like, this
of course.
is defective.
Yeah.
To hell with this.
Well, like when David Copperfield got Claudia Schiffer, that's the moment when I was like, magic might not actually.
Yeah,
be
magic
that
isn't bad.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm still not wearing all black just to get a chick.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen David Copperfield in Vegas?
No.
If you ever get a chance to go to Vegas and see
Okay.
David Copperfield, this is an ad for David Copperfield.
This
right
is an
now.
ad for David Copperfield.
You would not believe the show that this guy puts on.
Really?
It will blow your fucking mind out of your ass.
I believe you.
It's outrageous.
I believe you.
Because you remember the one with the
Where he floated over the Grand Canyon?
No. Who was the one that they had with the what's it called, the tigers and the
Siegfried and Roy.
Siegfried
and Roy.
Okay, that was always like, oh, they made another tiger appear. Like, who gives a shit? Like that, it's fine. But nobody really
They made
cares.
one too many appear.
They made a couple too many appear, right?
Oh, one too many.
Well,
Yeah.
Let's hope none appear at Arts Deli, where I'm currently filming this.
But I went
That
to go.
would be the best ending to this podcast. If a white tiger
attack.
came in and killed us all. It's just like
How did Malcolm Barrett die?
The white tiger.
A white tiger.
White tiger
showed
dies.
up.
any worries that any of us had about achieving Hollywood immortality are over.
This is-
if a white tiger comes in here, and
You know what?
kills
If there's a way I go, it's by White Tiger,
I
and that's
would
not a
love-
metaphor, Valerie.
I would love to have on a tombstone. He died like he lived, fighting a white tiger.
I love it. I love it. It's the best. Well, when I went to go see him to see David Copperfield.
This is still the David Copperfield story.
Finish telling you
All right,
the
I was
story.
worried it wouldn't end.
David Copperfield.
This is where there
I
was
go
a
to see him.
sereneful ending.
Did you see Doctor Strange? It's like that, only in a showroom.
Okay, here's what happens. Right at the top of the show, they bring out this like circular thing, the stage. They spin it, and there's nothing on it, and then they like drop a curtain real quick, and boom, appears David Copperfield on a motorcycle that's running with you. That's like, and he's like,
What?
jumps off the motorcycle, and he turns to the audience. He goes, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for some magic? I'm David Copperfield." And everyone goes ape shit. All right, the fire explodes. Right after the fire explodes, an elderly couple walks through the front row, and he goes, Did you guys just miss what happened?" And one of them goes, "Uh-huh." And he goes, I appeared on a motorcycle, and then a fire exploded. I said, I'm David Copperfield. People really enjoyed it. People seemed to like it. And it got this huge laugh. And I was like, this guy is a genius. What a brilliant guy.
Yeah.
After the show, I go backstage. I meet David Copperfield, and I go, man, that moment with you and those elderly people, it was the best improv I've ever seen. And he goes, oh, no. They work here.
No.
He does it every show. The elderly people walk right through the front row every single show.
That's a showman.
Man, it blew my mind. I love it.
He's
You
moved
can't-
beyond
That kind of
pigeons.
See,
He has
that's a
actual
show. I
humans.
appreciate. That's why I love those like Don Rickles, those old school comedians, those Milton Berle, because they are ready to perform at any given second. They know what makes a show. They know how to please the crowd.
Yeah.
They know how to move and think on their feet as well. But they recognize what it takes to entertain, and it takes a lot of hard work.
Did you do stand-up? Are you a stand-up guy, too?
I've done stand-up 10 times. I never call myself a stand-up because I know real stand-ups who do it as a real life and hate themselves. And so I don't want to...
You're looking at three of them.
I don't want to pretend to be any of those people. I've done that on occasion, but I don't have nearly the credence that my peers have.
Well, you're an incredible talent, Malcolm, and I can't thank you enough for sitting with us in Arts Deli during the lunch rush and talking about all this nerdy shit that we're doing.
Yeah, so Nerd Crap. Dimension 404, by the way, with some of the guys from... Oh, I always get their freaking names wrong. Jump Rocket or... Rocket Jump.
Rocket Jump.
There we
Oh,
go.
yeah,
Those
Rocket Jump.
guys.
Yeah.
Those guys are awesome. I'm doing their show, Dimension 404. That'll be out.
Oh, that's YouTube. Is that a YouTube Red
no,
show?
I think
that's
gonna
a
be on
TV show.
Hulu or something like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's how I met Constance Wu. We do a show, Megan Mullally.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that, and then Warn Everyone with Michael Pena and Peter Sarsgaard.
Oh, yeah. That's out right now. It's on demand right now.
Is it?
Yep.
I have no idea.
I know. War on Everyone with Michael Sarsgaard and who's the other
Michael
guy?
Pena
Michael
and
Pena.
and Peter Sarsgaard and John Michael McDonough.
Yeah, that's on demand right now. You can rent it and watch it immediately. It's absolutely hysterical.
I have no idea.
No.
I think I've seen it maybe.
Very, very cool. It's
It's a hell of an endorsement.
Yeah. Malcolm Barrett. I think I've seen it.
I like how you, at the very end of the podcast, you turned into Krusty the Clown. You still don't care. I don't know what I did.
I don't know. It's on.
Where can people find you on the internet?
I'm at Malcolm Barrett on Twitter and Verbal Be Rappin' on Instagram because my rap name is Verbal the Rapper. For those who were interested in that part,
Amazing.
there you go.
I will
It used to be
download-
Verbal Kent, and I took it away because I was a Usual Suspects
yeah.
fan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it
All
goes
right.
deep. It goes deep.
Do you have did you say Instagram too? Do you have an Instagram?
Yeah, verbal B rapping.
Okay,
VERBALBERAPPIN.
Wonderful. And then when
Yeah, it
does
is wonderful.
Timeless air? How often does Timeless air?
It airs every Monday at 10 p.m. on NBC.
It actually filled me with wonder. when
Yeah,
you
it was
said
really filled with wonder.
Wondrous.
February 13th, which is when we're filming this podcast. I don't care if you say that or if you guys
Sure, that's fine.
work
Yeah,
how that works. And then February 20th is our season finale. And then who knows if we're back. But I tell you what, Malcolm will be back.
Malcolm doesn't stop. Malcolm's going to keep going.
Malcolm's timeless no matter what.
You are timeless.
Yes, sir.
Unless that white tiger comes in
Unless
here.
there's a white tiger.
You're
Then
in a less
screw you
level.
all. Here on Timeless.
I hope he sounds like that, too. Screw you all. Rawr.
White Tiger will come in and be like, they're great. Or he eats us.
Black tiger goes, they aight.
Dear white people,
Dear white people.
stop making fun of our tigers. Yeah, you can check me out at funnymatt.com, or if you were annoyed by me, please let me know at mattwalkersucks.com.
Yeah, I think everyone needs an opposite page where people can tell them they suck, because that would be nice.
They
I
should.
should
I've
have
had
one
it
of
for
those
10
too.
years. Yeah.
Check me out at Mike Black Attack for all social media.
Yeah, Mike's got a lot of you follow Mike on Instagram?
Yeah, it's a lot of toys.
Yeah.
So
it's
many
almost all
toys.
toys.
It's all toys.
Yeah.
It's almost all toys. There's nothing else.
There's a lot of He-Man's day-to-day life going on
Yeah.
with Mike Black.
Really?
If you're not sure what's going on with action
it-
figures,
Yeah, if you were worried what
Please
He-Man
check
was
out.
doing with his downtime, he's hanging out with
like
Mike
live
Black.
journal for Predator on there. You can always get me at Stephen Glickman, STPHEN Glickman on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and then Arts Deli at Arts Deli. ARTSDELI on Twitter or on Instagram, arts_deli. That's where we're recording today. From here,
they
we're
have
going
a
to be.
pastrami bacon sandwich
You
that
wouldn't
is
believe
out of this world.
It's a delicious
It's
food.
the marbling on the meat,
and the
you
things
you
that
can't
get,
get that
it's
everywhere.
just a whole situation.
This is like too much tuna. All of a sudden.
It's a lot of tuna. Thank you so much for coming in. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave us messages and let us know where you would like this to do next. Thanks for coming in, Malcolm. You're the coolest.
You're the coolest,
You're
sir.
the coolest.
Glick man.